What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. King Richard is the brand new movie on HBO Max and in theaters. Lots of talk surrounding the performances in this film. We're going to get into all of it based on a true story. Let's do it so. This movie is a look at how tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams became who they are after the coaching from their father, Richard Williams. Starring the likes of Anjanu, Ellis, Jon Bernthal, and of course Will Smith as kind of our more established characters. But then of course we have Venus and Serena Williams, played by Demi Singleton and Sania Sidney. So I was really intrigued with the premise of this film. Serena and Venus Williams, their upbringing, how their father had this plan constructed from day one on how they were going to be the two greatest tennis players of all time. Two, like he says in the trailer, Michael Jordans of the sport. Well, really, in general, their impact is undeniable. And I'm not even someone who watches tennis all that often, but of course, I'm familiar with how good they are and how often they win, and the fact that they went up against each other multiple times, which is just the craziest thing ever. Imagine, and I believe he said it in an interview, the real life Richard Williams, that he's never watched a battle between his two daughters, but imagine how proud he must be that not only this plan kind of culminated and turned into what it did, not a spoiler, because it's real life, but also just knowing that he was able to implement everything surrounding and outside of the sport with everyone's lives that he touched. Not only Venus and Serena, but his oldest daughter being as successful as she was academically and continuing to push for all of these things within the lives of his family. And because he pushes so hard, we see how sometimes that will rub, well, pretty much everyone outside of the family the wrong way, but also his wife, played by Anjanu Ellis, who is keeping up with Will Smith every single scene. If he is the soul, then she is the occasional heartbeat of this film, always bringing him back down to earth. And I like the fact that this movie, even though it's executive produced by Venus and Serena, so you think to yourself, well, they're not going to go that far in portraying him as, someone who occasionally walks both sides of the fence, and it never comes across as abusive. I don't even want to use that word or throw that around, because at one point in the film, the police are called to their house, and apparently a neighbor sent them there for Richard being too aggressive with his parenting style. But if you dig deep into the soul of this character, at least the way he's represented in this film, and from what I've seen behind the scenes, he seems like the most humble and genuine person ever. Like, he just seems like the most incredible guy. He does this because he loves his daughters. He does this because he believes that they are as talented as they think they can be, and he's not pushing them to do something that they don't want to do. Yes, he did have this plan laid out in the beginning, but he also at points in the film establishes himself as someone who is going to, sure, allow them to make their own decision, but also let them do things that other parents pushing athletic children like this maybe would not do, like let them go out and live their lives, not allow them to play a tennis match, right? We see other examples of this. He's actually taking tennis from them to let them kind of have a childhood, and they are wanting it back because they have that passion that is instilled in them from their father, but also they love to do it themselves. So I loved kind of finding that balance within this film, because I just didn't know how they were going to play it. We have to talk about the director here, Ronaldo Marcus Green. Not as familiar with his work, but he's someone who's just not being talked about. And no, it's not the most unconventional film I've ever seen. Somewhat of a formulaic biopic script, if you strip back some of these things and take away the performances, take away some of the execution here and there, but well, because we get the entire package as a film, we don't have to take those things away, right? You can have a familiar story and some cliche things that happen here and there, but because this is a biopic and it's telling a story that is so true, but also so honest, that's something that comes across to us as the viewers, and we enjoy that. And I just thought the execution from the director, from just the really solid all-around look of the movie, getting those crowd-pleasing moments when they are meant to happen, a nice balance of humor. Richard's lines every now and then had me cracking up, just because he's, occasionally meaning well by saying something or doing something, but it just comes across as so aggressive. But those semi-aggressive moments are always in defense of his daughters instead of being too pushy, and he's definitely pushy, right? And the movie portrays that. I do like the fact that they were more honest about those things, and it tells the story up until a point, and then does the thing that all biopics do, and then gives you the real life story, which was nice. And I'm sure it left things out, and I'm sure moments are just kind of, if I had one big complaint about the way things were handled, we got a lot of Venus, not as much of Serena, right? She's just kind of in the background for a lot of the story, but understandably so, they had to have a focus here. Otherwise, it would have been a limited series instead of a 2-hour movie. And last but not least, there are a few performances here that I believe could get nominated. Will Smith being the most likely, and honestly, I hate to fall into the same camp as everyone else. I think he has a great chance at winning. He just does everything he needs to do, dives deep into this real-life role. And if you watch footage of Venus and Serena's father, it is spot on. I mean, almost perfection by Will Smith, whom I am a massive fan of. So this is really cool to see as someone who grew up loving the guy. So before I give you guys my score, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're watching this movie, and if you like this review, you want to support this channel, drop your thumbs up down below. King Richard is a sports-centric drama that goes beyond your typical genre outing by delivering a solid story, some crowd-pleasing moments, and a handful of great performances. Will Smith is better than he has ever been, and you can feel the passion behind his portrayal. I'm going an 83% with my score. I just think this is a rock-solid movie all the way around, not just looking at the actor and actress outlook at the Oscars. I thought everything about it, I mean, you could look at it as a generic sports movie, and I also want to address the fact that, you know, I've seen a lot of people say it needs to be more focused on Venus and Serena, and why is it called King Richard, all these things, but Venus and Serena being producers on the film, you're kind of looking at the movie through their lens and getting both sides of their father, a little bit of bad, mostly good, but allowing him to be the focus. Since they are producers, I felt like that was the angle that they wanted to take just as much as the filmmakers and Will Smith. I could be wrong. And they seem like they're extremely proud of the film, so I'm okay with that fact as long as they're okay with that fact. Regardless, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Can't wait to watch it again. I'll see you guys soon.